It was painful leaving the place I called home for nearly a decade. As I packed my stuff, I had to decide what to keep and what to let go for donation. And these weren't just clothes. You know, t-shirts with theater productions, hoodies with band logos. These are memories of the time when I was surrounded by the ones I loved. I mean, how could I let that go? There's a phrase out there for a group of people in my generation who simply refuse to grow up. And that's the aptly titled, oh, that's China, that's not China, or those. Let's skip ahead. It's called the Peter Pan generation. Named after, of course, Peter Pan, who simply refused to grow up and kidnapped little children. I don't know why he's so revered. But, you know, kidnapping aside, I can kind of relate to the guy. There are no two words that scare me more than the words grown up, aside from maybe North Korea or Houston traffic. I got one. Trump presidency. I don't want to get political, but Now, there's a powerful drug out there that's holding us back. And it's one that we're all guilty of being a little bit addicted to. It's not heroin. If it is heroin, you need to seek help. But not right now, because it'd be rude to leave. It's a crazy little thing called nostalgia. Now, what exactly is nostalgia? Well, linguistically speaking, nostalgia comes from the Greek words nostos and algos, which means return and suffering, which is why you kind of feel bittersweet whenever you think about the past. Now, to put that in a more relatable, modern perspective, nostalgia is having 4 days of the week dedicated to living in the past. What the hell's Catterday? I wrote this, but I have no idea what Catterday is. Like cats? Cats? Oh, thank you. I wrote this. But you see, from Transformation Tuesday all the way to Flashback Friday, I think we've gone a little bit overboard thinking about the past. And I've been trying to contribute my own hashtag to this, but I don't think that'll be working anytime soon. Too long? I don't know what it is. Now, I'd like to do a real quick test, if you don't mind.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is bubble number 5. A little bit of Monica on my line, a little bit of Erica on our side, a little bit of Rita on our feet, a little bit of Rita.
When I was a young boy, my father took me into the city to see a marching band.
In West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground of town, boy, I knew, chilling out, relaxing, relaxing on the floor. Some small outside of school, went a couple of times, and we're up to no good. Started making trouble in my neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in the school.
Now, after watching that, how'd you feel? It felt good, right? You were taken back to a time when your only concern was whether or not Gary would come back. Spoiler alert, he does. Or what about a time when the only race war you were concerned about was the race to the microwave before the beeper went off? You know, our brains, they're slightly masochistic in the way that we crave the pain that comes whenever we think about the past. It seems that our generation, our Peter Pan generation, is having a harder time with moving on. But you know, it's nice to be reminded of the past. There's nothing wrong with sitting down and watching an episode of Caillou, or playing a game of Heads Up, 7 Up, or maybe even listening to NSYNC in their prime. And I dare you, raise your hand if you know anybody other than Justin Timberlake in there. You can't do it. But it seems like companies are catching on to what we're doing. They know exactly what's wrong, and they're keeping up. Let's see, how many of y'all are familiar with BuzzFeed? And how many of y'all wish you weren't? You see, there you go. You see, BuzzFeed is notorious for wickedly stupid articles like, I swear to God, these are real. 21 foods that forgot how to food. Food is now a verb. Or Leonardo DiCaprio might be a human puppy. If you think he looks happy now, just wait till he wins an Oscar. If, yeah. Or, you can't make this up. What is your inner potato? Journalism at its finest. But another thing that BuzzFeed is known for is its blatant encouragement of our refusal to grow up. You see, there are nearly 9,360 articles purely dedicated to the 90s and the early 2000s. This has generated BuzzFeed upwards of $850 million. That's a lot of money. That's enough to buy you the entire military of Iceland. 10 times over. What their biggest threat? These little guys. You think they're cute now, they can rip your face clean off. It's scary. But, let me just get to the next one. While BuzzFeed isn't necessarily stealing our money, just precious time from our seemingly short lives. I know. There are individuals out there who do rip us off and steal our money just for our, cause of nostalgia. Take the entertainment industry, for instance. Backstreet Boys, the pioneers of bromance, they went back on tour this year, and so the years passed, and they've generated upwards of tens of millions of dollars. Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff are back on tour next year. My personal favorite, Jurassic Park, had an epic reboot this year, receiving $1.5 billion, making it the highest grossing opening for a movie of all time. Because what's the point of originality when you can just reuse something that was successful in the past? Which is actually the argument I used against my 8th grade teacher when I was accused of plagiarism. Didn't really work. But now I'm not saying a little reminiscing is bad, because it's been scientifically proven that the endorphins in your brain actually help combat depression and anxiety. Couples that have been together for a long time, whenever they look back at the past, they actually grow even closer together. And in the bipolar weather of Houston, an experience of a throwback actually makes us feel a little bit warmer. So what's the big deal? A little reminiscing never hurt anyone, right? But we cannot move forward as an individual, or as a generation, or even as a society, until we let that baggage go. We focus all too much on our past instead of our future. The past is important, sure, because it shows us where we've come from and how far we've come. But we should use that as an anchor rather than a sail. Now, how many of y'all would you consider to be millennials? And how many of y'all are Generation Zers? And how many of y'all have no idea what the difference is and see them both as equally lazy? There you go. Well, the main distinguishing factor is that millennials were born from 1980 to 1994, whereas Generation Zers were born from 1995 upwards to 2010. Pretty much those were the same people who claimed they were 90s kids, but were only like 5 or younger. So now that we have that settled, how many of you would you consider yourselves to be millennials? And Generation Zers? And the rest of y'all are old. Sorry. Well, you see, I bring this up because my generation, the generation of many of us in this room, Generation Zers, have yet to accomplish or invent anything. You see, our generation, it has no responsibility. We complain and we bicker about the fact rather than actively fighting it. Our generation has no unity. We're divided over simple matters. It's obviously blue and black people. Wake up. You see, as I was writing this at home, I was lying in bed, it was last minute. I'm still a college student, come on. And there's a box in the corner. And it's got all my clothes in it, and it's labeled Keep. T-shirts with theater productions. Hoodies with band logos on it, memories of a time when I was surrounded by the ones I loved. And I still couldn't let go. But only recently have I become involved on campus, instead of wishing I was back at high school. I've made a couple new friends along the way, as well as kept up with some old, not in hopes to reminisce about the good old days, but to create some more in the days to come. We cannot let our past hold us back from the greatness we were destined to achieve. You do not let that box in the corner weigh you down. You get out there, you seize a Sharpie, and you cross out the word keep, and you write in big fat letters the words let go. We, as a generation, will move forward together, because we are not a generation, we are not a member of the generation of the Peter Pan. No. for the future of the United States of America. And we will change the world as soon as we learn to let go. Thank you very much.